Welcome to another edition of West Washington Lady Senator Softball. We are joined here today with Mike Long, former coach of the Lady Senators. He's been gracious enough to step in and fill in for some of the play-by-play and action here. The Lady Senators are taking on the Borden Braves. They come off a tough loss last Friday to the North Harrison Lady Cougars in a game that really came down to some pitching struggles early. They were able to come back with Cora Miller coming in and closing down some of the runs, but we get Casey Kalin back on the mound today so that we can see kind of what she's got. The Borden Braves or not the Borden Braves, the Brownstown Braves are never a team to really overlook. Coach Long has seen them many times. Give me a little bit about what you think about the Braves.
Yeah, Brownstown, they're always a solid team. I know in the 5 years that I coached, we was able to get them one time, but we played them very close a few times. They're well coached, a lot of athletic players. They give 100% on every play, so you have to match that intensity to stay with them.
And that's something that the Lady Senators definitely can do. They've got a lot of experience on the field. Even though they start some young players up the middle, they do have some definite players who have played lots of softball innings. So we're going to start off, like I said, Casey Kalin's on the mound, and the first batter up for the Lady Braves is Zoe Fountain, their shortstop, number 14. Kalin starts off with a nice outside pitch, which is called a strike.
Painting the corner there, that's a great pitch.
And that's the pitch that she wasn't able to locate when she was playing against North Harrison. That pitch just wasn't quite there. So,
ooh,
inside pitch that's called a ball.
Yeah, it's good to get ahead in the count, then make the batter, of course, go after her pitch that she wants her to go after.
And Kalin's one who has lots of pitches. I mean, she's a legit at least 4 pitch. I've heard has up to at least 7. So. She can really mix it up.
Absolutely, she's a great pitcher. She's when she's hitting her location, she's one of the best.
There's a ball driven to Taylor Fouch at short. Throw to first.
Yeah, made her pull her foot. The throw was off just a little. Looks like she was throwing from her heels and didn't follow through on that throw.
I know I'm going to be tough, and Punky's probably going to hate me for this one, but I'm going to give an error to Fouch on that throw.
Yeah, that was.
There's a pop-up bunt. Second batter is Chloe Carlin.
I like Rye. Rye is she plays third just like Tressa did for us back a few years ago. She's very aggressive.
Definitely plays in and takes away that small ball.
Absolutely.
Swinging away on that one, right back to Casey at the mound. Can't field it, or at least can't field it clean. It's a hard hit ground ball.
And it looked like Fontaine came off the bag there at second, and Casey tried to throw her out there at second. She got back just in time.
Right. Now we've got Addie Krieger up, their left fielder, with runners on first and second. No outs in the top of the first.
And it sure is a windy game today.
Oh, definitely.
Sure.
The flag out in right field is blowing straight out towards right field. So there's a swing and a miss on
Great
a high
pitch.
strike.
She covered her, got her.
Ooh.
Called her safe.
That's a tough call there.
Yeah, it looked like she had her in mid slide, but the umpire was behind the play. So he didn't actually see that contact and when it happened versus when her foot touched the base. So you got bases loaded here. You've got a 1-1 count.
Actually, I think we've got first base open over there.
Do we? Oh, yeah,
yep.
we do. We do have first base
So
open.
we've got runners at second and third.
Second, third.
Still with Addie Krieger up. There's an inside pitch that she drives down the third base line foul. with the wind blowing the way it is today, it's going to be hard to pull a ball and get it out.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to go to right field if you're going to want to hit it, out of here. Not a whole lot of balls go out of this park. That's something that you've definitely seen as a coach. There's they don't seem to fly out of here very well.
They don't.
Pitch outside again.
The wind is there's nothing really blocking the wind out here, so you deal with it a lot in the spring.
It's one of the things that makes it beautiful out here. You get to see all the fields and everything, but for
Absolutely.
you, there's no wind block or wind break. There's a ball driven up, going to end up foul. I don't think she's got enough room to get it. Cora Miller couldn't quite get to it.
No, you're right. It puts everybody on the same playing field, though. We all have to deal with it. But the balls do seem to fly out to right field a lot better than what they do left.
Yeah. And once it gets hotter here, they seem to fly a lot better.
You're right. Senators need to buckle down and get it out here.
Yeah. There's a nice pitch driven straight up in the air. Halls settles underneath it, catches it after a little bobble, but still able to catch the fly ball.
And with that wind, that's no easy fly ball in the infield.
That's exactly right. It was a pop-up that she was able to get under, but it moved probably 15 feet from where she originally set up.
Absolutely.
Up next is Claire Polton, their first baseman, batting fourth. Squares to bunt, lays one down, and it's going to roll foul. Taylor Green picks it up in foul territory. The right side where she was wanting to bunt it, but just couldn't quite get it in fair territory. Is that a play that you would like to see more of, your cleanup hitter standing to lay down a bunt?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about softball, it doesn't matter where you bat in a lineup. Every one of your players need to know how to bunt and to bunt effectively and to be able to put it down either baseline, because that is a great play at any aspect of the game when you have an opportunity to get a run across the plate.
We now have 2 outs with runners on second and third.
And I
Strike
believe
on the
what
inside
happened
corner.
on that second bunt attempt, she stepped on the plate and he called her out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So we could get out of this.
Get out of this with no runs given up. That'd be good.
She's ahead of the count, 0-2, 2 outs, runner at second, third.
Pounding that inside corner. That's where Kaylin has kind of started to make her living, that inside corner, and then once you get there, you can move to the other side and kind of push it out.
That's right. This is that pitch here where she needs to make her chase her pitch.
Yeah. There's one looped over Rye's head into left field. Cora Miller comes up throwing to Tilly. Safe at home, out to second. Got her at second. So they're going to score 2 runs on that and end up with an out at second base. We're going to stay with you in between the short inning change here. Mike, give us a little information about the girls on the team. You've been with them, you've seen them, you've coached them some. What do you see from these girls?
Okay, before I forget, I'm going to say something about that pitch right there. I know that Chris is going to have a little talk with Casey. It's early in the game. I know her nerves are at top notch, top gear now. And on an 0-2 pitch, you definitely don't want to see anything that a batter can do that with the ball. So he's gonna address that. She's gonna calm down, and next time she's in that situation, she's really gonna perform the way that she knows she can. As for the girls, I'm so excited about this program and where it is, and these kids. This community is great. These kids are great. There's a few freshmen that I, of course, didn't have the chance to coach, but I was a part of the coaching, whenever they were in junior high, and I would come to their practices and work with them. So I've got to see everybody who's out here on the field. and there's a lot of talent. They're a little young, of course, but there's enough knowledge here of the game on this team that you know by mid-season to end of the season, you're going to see them doing great things. And that's kind of the approach that we've always had with softball. At the beginning of the year, you're just finding your way, you're figuring things out, and then by mid-season, you should have those things figured out, and then you're working towards the end of the season, into postseason play. But he's got the tools here, and these athletes, I mean, they played a lot of softball.
Yeah.
They really have.
Yeah. And speaking of playing a lot of softball, this is one of those girls that you saw in middle school coming up to the plate. Taylor Fouch.
Absolutely.
Her dad Punky is always an avid watcher and listener. He already let me know he's in Chattanooga today and tuning in. So.
I tell you what, me and Punky's had a lot of late night talks about softball, probably over the last 5 years, and I really enjoyed talking to him, and we've discussed his daughter quite a bit over the years.
There's a called strike on the inside corner.
That's a tough one.
And that's one that Taylor likes the ball out away from her,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to let that one go because she knows that's not a ball that she's going to hit very well. That's not one that she can turn on and really drive. So she's looking outside. There's another pitch inside for a ball. So she's wanting that ball out over the plate, and she'll take a couple to get it out over the plate, and then she'll start battling that inside corner.
Absolutely. These kids, they played enough softball. They know where their pitch is. They've been told by their coaches many, many times to wait for it.
Yeah. There's a pitch outside. So the count's now 3-1 on Taylor Fouch, the leadoff batter of the Lady Senators. It's 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning.
She's in a great spot here. This is a hitter's pitch.
Fouled it back straight up over us. Now the count's full at 2-2. Jamie Bryant is the pitcher for the Brownstown Braves. Half swing from Taylor, dribbler to third, and is thrown out at first.
You could tell that she didn't want to swing at it because it wasn't her pitch, but she also wasn't going to get rung up with another inside strike call.
Yeah, Robinson made a nice play on that, fielded exactly how you're supposed to. We like to teach the young ones, to gate her up, and that's exactly what she did. Funneled it right up the middle, and then made a nice throw to first. Stepping in the second hole is Cassidy Keltner, who's moved up in the lineup a couple of spots. Bryant throws that pitch, and it gets away from the catcher. And Cassidy's another one of those, freshmen who you've worked with, and she's got some great speed and really can get on the base, which the 2-hole fits her really well. She drives the ball right back up the center and gets on base. That's what you're looking for there.
Absolutely. A freshman coming up batting in the second spot against a tough Brownstown team and getting a base hit. I mean, that's fantastic to have that this early in the season.
Right. And now she's really in a threat where she is right now on the base path, stealing bases. Tilly Gilbert steps in, the junior catcher for the Lady Senators. There's the changeup from Bryant.
Tilly's a great ball player.
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times, and the ball seems to jump off her bat. I mean, when she swings it, it just jumps. There's another outside pitch. They're really paying attention to Cassidy over there, and Ruth sitting beside me says it's not been jumping off her bat this year. And that moms and dads are always the hardest critic on their kids. So
that's exactly right.
There's an inside pitch.
Great job.
Steal. That's a called strike on Tilly, but Cassidy is able to steal second on that.
They're getting a lot of these inside pitches called for strikes here, so you make a mental note. And
there's a ball hit deep center field.
Tilly hit that well.
Settling back, caught at the fence.
She hit it well. The wind didn't help her at all.
On a non-windy day, that probably would have been out of here.
Absolutely.
But with the wind, that's just going to be a long fly ball out. So now we've got 2 down. Cassidy Keltner standing on second base. Rye Watson getting ready to step in, the senior leader for these Lady Senators. And she's also one who's got some power. So she's one who is the typical cleanup hole hitter who likes to pull the ball
Absolutely.
down that third base line. So
Rye's a special player for sure.
Rye's batting an even 300 on the year. Not she hasn't quite started off the way that she wanted to, but batting 300 at the beginning of the year when you haven't seen a whole lot of pitches, and it'll grow as the year goes on. Keltner steals a base again underneath a throw.
Very nice. She's quick.
She's very quick, and she has very long legs that allow her to get to that base, very quickly. So she's now in much better scoring position, even though second base is scoring position. Rye getting a single here, Cassidy will score no problem. Not that she wouldn't have probably scored on a single from second, but
yeah.
This just makes it a little easier.
Hey, this helps you with a pass ball opportunity to score too. Anytime you have a pass ball and you got that type of speed on third base,
there's a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on third. Ball outside.
And one thing that we've always coached, and me and Chris, of course, whenever I started coaching, I came on as assistant coach for a couple years with Bob Potter, and then when I took over, Chris came. Get down, ball.
There's a bloop towards second base. Doesn't quite get down. So the Lady Braves end up closing out the inning. Score is 2-0 in favor of the Lady Braves, and we're going to step away for a short commercial break.
Have you noticed? Sports today are different. Today's athletes are bigger and stronger. They run faster, jump higher, and hit harder than ever before. But there is one thing that hasn't changed about sports, and that's the importance of practicing sportsmanship. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we like to remind you that winning isn't everything. The way you play matters, and a true champion plays the game with respect. For the opponent, for the coaches, and for the officials. True champions practice sportsmanship with the same degree of intensity that they play the games themselves. Sports may evolve, athletes may change, but the mark of a true champion will always be the same. Play like a champion. Practice sportsmanship. This message brought to you by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the high schools in your community. Have you noticed? Sports today are different. Today's athletes are bigger and strong.
Welcome back from commercial break. The Lady Senators are taking the field for the second time. They are down 2-0 to the Brownstown Braves. A lot of great things happened there in that first inning. And the girls, came out with some defense that wasn't quite perfect. We had an error and allowed a couple of runs to get in and score, and that's not exactly what you want in the first inning. But then we came up to bat and really were able to do some good things, there. So, looking to kind of build off that momentum and get some outs here and go back in and swing the bats.
Absolutely. And to finish my point a second ago, with Rye, one thing that she does is she watches the ball all the way back to the glove, and that's what you like to see out of your players, just to make sure that their nose is on the ball.
Up for the Lady Braves is Leah Stidham, their catcher, number 7. She pulls the first one foul down third base line. Swings through the second one.
That was a great pitch on the outside.
That's one that you've got to swing at because it's going to be called a strike, but you just can't quite reach it.
Yep.
Which is a great pitch. Kaylin's way out ahead now. 2 strikes and a ball. Third one inside. Fouch settles underneath it for a nice
It's a great off-speed pitch that she did there to put her out on her front foot. And it was all up her body, and she couldn't do anything with it.
It's nice to see Fouch settle underneath the ball. I know she's had a little bit of struggle with those pop flies on the infield, and some of them haven't been super easy for her to get to. But she settled underneath that one nicely. Up next is Riley Robinson. First pitch is thrown by her for a strike. Second pitch up high, and she chases it.
Yeah, those high pitches, they make you hungry to go after them, but they're tough to catch up to.
They look really nice, but it's really hard to get a hold of them.
Exactly. She tried her up there one more time. It was tough for her to stay off of it.
Yeah, she did stay off of that one. The first one she wasn't able to. Then she saw that one and was like, okay, I'm going to lay off this one. There's a pitch outside and a little high. She's trying to get her to chase one, which is exactly what you want her to do.
Exactly.
With when you're ahead in the count that far, now she's evened it up at 2-2. So gonna have to throw a pitch where she's got to swing at it. There's one looped over third into foul territory. Much better outing this time for Casey than last time. She's thrown 27 pitches so far, and most of them have been for strikes or have been fouled off. So, it's much better than the last time where she was, fighting from behind.
Exactly. And you've seen her start out with this batter here, 0-2, and you've seen what her next two pitches have been.
There's a ball up over Fouch's head, settling back. Nice catch by Taylor Fouch.
Great catch. Great catch. Running out to the outfield over her shoulder, basket catch.
Punky, I'll take it back. She made a great play on that one, so I'll get off her case now. Up next is Kaylee Taggart, their second baseman. She's their eighth batter.
Ooh, nice one.
Very nice pitch on the inside part of the plate. That was an off-speed pitch.
Yes, it was.
In there, which is something that Casey can really throw and really get a lot of.
Ooh, saying it touched her.
Saying it hit her. Like I was saying, Casey can throw that inside off-speed pitch and really get those batters off beat.
Yeah.
So then when she does throw her fastball, she can throw it by people.
Exactly. You want your batters on their heels, not on their toes.
Hannah Fisher's the next batter up. Looks like she's a slapper. She attempts at the first one but misses. Is slapping something that you're able to teach girls, or is that something that they've kind of gotta have on their own?
It can be taught. Absolutely. You've got to have a knack for watching the ball because it's a movement where you're running towards the pitcher to make contact. So it's not easy. Your footwork has to be spot on to make it work, but it can be taught.
And it's almost like 3 steps in the batter's box that you're trying to take there and get the hit at the same time and get your momentum moving towards that first base.
Yep.
Definitely a hard thing to do. I know our Elizabeth Halls is a slapper, and she's trying to get it down.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of extra steps there that she's trying to learn how to get that going and
Yeah.
be productive at it.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you see a whole lot of girls growing up doing.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time they're 6th, 7th, 8th graders, that's when they're starting to get taught how to do that.
Yeah, it adds a nice wrinkle to the game because there's a few things that you can do off a slap. You can do a little drag bunt, and it really keeps the defense on their heels a little bit, and you can lay something down with a momentum of running and putting you on first base a lot quicker. It makes it tough on the defense.
Yeah, and especially if you add it with the speed of girls,
Mm-hmm.
and they take off and are gone.
Yeah.
That makes it so difficult to get outs because
Exactly.
by the time they hit the ball, they're already at full speed and they're moving down that first base line.
Very true, very true. And then you'll run against some that can pull the ball left-handed as well as a full swing, and they can knock it over your outfield, over their heads. And you don't know when it's going to happen. There's a few different aspects of that slap and some variables there. and you really at the mercy of that batter.
Oh, definitely, definitely. College game, it's a huge, huge, aspect of that. And you'll see 4 or 5 batters in the lineup who are slappers.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's exactly like what you said. They'll lay down a bunt one time, and then they'll drive it over your right fielder's head. Drag it that way over the head of somebody, and it's, just like you said, it adds a whole nother wrinkle to the game.
It does. It really does.
When in your mind, as a former coach, when's too late to learn how to slap? I mean,
wow.
is high school the time to do it?
Well, of course, any time that you can have, the youth working on just the simple. I mean, it's just like a pitcher. The earlier they start doing the mechanics and learning just how that whole swing is supposed to go, you just keep adding layers to it and they perfect it. But no, if you've got speed and you've got a kid that can watch the ball and wow, that's a tough one.
that was a tough
stop.
inside corner pitch there on Kaylin. That's not one that she likes, and she wasn't getting that call that far inside. So
no, not at all.
Swings through that one.
She took an off-speed pitch there. But yeah, I mean, we've taught some in high school, and they've done it. They did it well enough for us to make it work. Now, if you want to be great at it, you've got to start it young.
Do you, in your eyes, a lot of those college players, are they slappers before they get to college, or are they taught how to slap there because they're so athletic and
Well, I would say that and it could be both. I would say it's both. When you've got talent like that, those kids can learn anything in a short amount of time, and the off-season work that they put in at the college level is second to none. So they can take non-slappers and make them a slapper that looks weathered, and that they've been doing it their whole life, probably in less than a year. Yeah, he's definitely on that inside.
Yeah, that inside corner, they're getting the strike calls there. So I just hope when Casey comes back out, she continues to get that inside call.
Yeah.
It's an off-speed pitch. Like I said earlier, we're going to see a lot of off-speed pitches from Jamie Bryant. She likes that off-speed pitch, and she'll hit you with a couple of fastballs and then throw that off-speed. And
yeah.
It's hard to stay where you're supposed to be. Up next is McKeon Cervantes, our right fielder.
Yeah, the off speed on a strike 3. I mean, anytime a pitcher has got 2 strikes, you've got to expect an off speed pitch. I mean, it's kind of the underwritten rules of sports in baseball and in softball that once you get 2 strikes, I mean, you're at the pitcher's mercy.
Yeah.
They can throw if you've got to be ready. You can't think fastball every time on a 3rd strike.
And that's what a lot of these girls like. They like the fastball.
Mm-hmm.
The rise ball, they don't like the changeup. They don't like the curveball. They don't like. They want to see that fastball.
A lot of your reps are off pitching machines, so they get that timing down on fastballs, and so it's a little bit tougher. It's hard to get a pitching machine that throws changeups and curveballs.
There's a ball hit down first base, knocks it down and makes a nice play at first. Talk to me a little bit about bat technology that's come through. We see all these girls swinging different versions of bats, different types of bats. You get lots of different things going. Some girls prefer one over another. What's your idea on those?
Well, I mean, you've got to be comfortable with whichever bat that you select. But yeah, technology of the bats. I mean, every year they're taking it up a notch. Now, what we've noticed throughout this is the bats are getting hotter, but the durability is getting less
and less.
Yeah, so
you end up buying more bats.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of just the way the world is. If something works too good, then they pull it off the shelf and add a new model out there. So, but that's the way it is. But the bats are hot now out of the wrapper, which is something for years that you had to break them in, that it would take 200 to 300 cuts on bats before they were really performing at what they were capable of. These days, you pull a wrapper off of it, and that thing's just as hot as is. 200-300 cuts in.
Right. And we on the Lady Senators team, there's a range of all different types of models. We've got girls swinging, the Zeno. We've got a couple of LXTs. We've got some DeMarinis out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all just personal preference on what those girls like.
Yeah. And you're right. And me and Chris, every year we would get out here and pitch to each other and swing these bats ourselves and try and test them for the girls, and let them know what we thought was hot and try and get them to try those. But yeah, it's.
And you're exactly right. It goes all the way down. One of the hottest bats right now for some of the youth is a DeMarini CF8,
Mm-hmm.
and they took it off the market, and they've got the CF9 out now, so that it's not even out there anymore.
Yeah, that's typically the way it goes. When it's working too good. But, and some of that's factored into injuries that come off of, those bats. Some of those hot bats, when they get broken in even more, they become a little bit dangerous. And so I do like to look out here and see the face mask. I know we had talked about that a little bit before we went online here. Seeing your infield, we've seen some potential devastating injuries that have been prevented from a mask. So you definitely like to see your infield with it on.
Yeah, with as hard as the pitchers throw,
Mm-hmm.
and as hard as the batters swing, you can get a ball really flying at those girls, and as close as Rye plays at third and Taylor plays at first, you can get one right back at you in no time.
Absolutely. And as a coach, you feel better, because these are all your daughters out here playing. Even as a coach, and you protect them. You don't want them to get hurt. And like a Haley Stevenson, she never wore a mask and played with us for 4 years. And there was a couple balls that just went very close to her that would literally stop your heart as a coach. And you just think, wow. We got lucky there. Let's talk to Haley and see if she wants to wear a mask. But I understand, I didn't grow up wearing certain things too, protective devices. So when you're not used to them, it does affect, how you play.
Yeah.
So you have to, you have to get used to something like that to feel comfortable enough to wear it in a game.
Chloe Carlin up to bat now. She's got the count full, drives one to Rye. Rye makes a nice stop and throws her out at first. That's a good play there by Rye.
Yeah, she did the fundamental work right there to get that out.
Up next is Addie Krieger, their left fielder. She's 0 for 1 on the day. Her first ball was a pop-up to Halls at second. Ruth said she keeps her shirt in her mouth. Coach, what's that doing?
Man, it's teaching her to keep her head from pulling. It's as long as she keeps a hold of it.
That's exactly right. You see a lot of the young kids, coming up through ball, 6U, 8U, with their shirt in their mouth so that they keep their head down on the ball and keep their head in instead of pulling their head out. And then some girls just never get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing about hitting the ball, of course, is watching it, and you've got to see the contact. You're not just looking for a piece of the ball. You've got to really see the middle of that ball when you're putting your swing on it.
Swings through that one.
And we teach that on our 8U travel baseball team as well. I mean, we do a lot of tee work. We do a lot of small ball stuff to keep these kids, their eyes locked in. But I get it. I mean, as a player and as a hitter, you want to watch where your ball goes. However, if you do those techniques to keep your eyes down and hit through the ball, you feel it in the bat. You know you hit it well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you get the feel of it, then you know you've got it.
Absolutely.
That's why you see a lot of the major leaguers, once they swing the bat, they know, hey, I got all that one or I missed it.
Yeah. Great
nice pitch on the inside corner. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. You're going to actually get to see and hear Mike Long, who is sitting beside me, but on a pre-recorded commercial. So we'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, this is Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. I want to let you know about our new Safe Teen Driver program that we offer here at American Family. It allows kids to monitor their driving habits to keep them smarter and safer on the roads, all via a fun smartphone app. This also allows you to save an additional 10% off their car insurance. Contact us for more information at 812-578-3072. Let's get you back out to the ballgame.
We're back with you live from the West Washington softball field here. The Lady Senators are down 2-0 in the bottom of the third inning. They have definitely settled down since that first inning. Up for the Lady Senators is Nicole Pittman, our designated player, batting 8th. She's another one of that very talented group of freshmen who are coming up and really making a big, taking a big role for the Lady Senators.
Yeah, Chris has talked a lot about Nicole's bat. I mean, she's hitting the ball very well. She's got some power. I was able to watch the North Harrison game at about 10:30 the other night, the night of the game, online, thanks to what you got going on here. But and I seen her come in.
Wow!
As
inside pitch called strike there.
Another one. as a designated hitter, I think, for Taylor, and she got a hit, in her first at bat. And that's, as a freshman, man, you can't ask much from much more than that to come into that situation, hadn't played the whole game and get a base hit.
Yeah, second strike called outside. So Jamie Bryant has worked inside and outside now. There's a ball towards third, fielded and thrown out at first.
On a day like today, you definitely run out everything.
Yeah, there's no telling where that one's going to end up. Robinson does make a nice play there, fielding it and throwing it to Polton at first. Up next is the slapper for the team that we've already talked about. So we'll see how she does with the slap here.
Oh, man, he's got something on that side of the plate. It's outside to a lefty. That's probably two and a half balls off the plate.
That's one of those
tough.
that the people at home get a very nice view of where that ball actually is, because the camera angle looks straight down on home plate. So
I don't think she could have touched that ball.
Well, maybe if she had a 48-inch bat.
I guess so.
Ball inside.
Yeah, that's tough on a slapper to call that one a strike.
Well, and that's the way you approach the slappers.
Absolutely.
You throw them outside so that they can't reach it.
You're exactly right.
We got the count even at 2-2 here. Swing back at the pitcher.
She's quick.
Unable to field that one.
It took a hop there and got right past her.
Yeah. Back to the top with Taylor Fouch coming up. Elizabeth on first. Probably going to look to steal here at some point. She's got quite a bit of speed. Not so sure you want to take the bat out of Taylor's hands, but early in the count, wouldn't be surprised to see a steal here or maybe a hit and run coming. There's a ball at
nice.
second.
She's going to get 3 on that.
Going to end up standing on third. Nice play from Taylor there. Just not able. That's a hard hit ground ball that just gets through Taggart there at second. So Halls ends up on third on the air. Taylor standing on first. We're going to see maybe some small ball here and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Lots of speed all around the bases. We've got speed at third, speed at first, and speed in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cassidy Keltner coming up here, K squared, ready to turn on some speed and see what we've got going.
Yeah.
Taylor takes off from first. Not going to be a play there.
Yeah, great opportunity to get a few runs across the plate here. And all at the hands of your freshmen right now.
Yeah, all freshmen. We got a freshman on third, freshman on second, and a freshman in the box.
Very impressive. That shows you what the Keltners have helped do down at the junior high level with this group here.
All these girls have come up through that junior high level, which Cassidy's mom and dad have really helped, build. And I was able to talk to Stephanie on the playground today. She was actually delivering a snack to Lizzie, who is a sixth grader who is running track and playing junior high softball all in the same spring season. So she's got her plate full. And then, Cassidy's here at the varsity level, and Stephanie said she couldn't be here today, but talked about the girls that she's got on that junior high team.
Absolutely.
And there's a definite talent there that is coming up. So
it looked like Cassidy she tweaked something whenever she took off running out of the box. You can see her face grimacing a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
she's got kind of a little step going on.
I don't know if it's a hamstring, a foot. I didn't see her roll anything, but whenever you jet off like that and come to a stop, hopefully she's okay. She's a trooper, though. She's not gonna.
Yeah, she's
not gonna let it take her out of this game.
Like we've talked before, she's one of those three-sport athletes: the volleyball, basketball, and then softball in the spring. She doesn't let injuries take her off or take her out of the court.
Oh,
ooh!
That was
Called strike on the inside corner. Up next is Tilly Gilbert, the junior catcher for the Lady Senators. 2 outs here, runners on second and third. Tilly, it'd be nice to get a hold of one here. Probably going to score 2 and even this game up.
Yeah. Just need a base shot.
Ball outside. Stidham tries to frame that one, but that one's just a little too far outside for her. So that one once again outside.
Yeah, she's done a good job pitching for sure, mixing it up.
Stidham makes the save there because if that would have got by her, there's no doubt that Halls would have scored.
I think Chris is going to have a conversation with her over there at third and let her know that she's got to be in foul territory because if that ball touches her fair, she is out.
That's the former coach in you. That's
I can't help it.
But that's exactly right. I mean, that's a learning thing for a freshman, who may not have seen a whole lot of balls, hit at her on third base when she's standing there.
Absolutely.
So that's something that you've got to remind them. Hey, be in foul territory.
Every teachable moment, you got to take advantage of it.
There's a ball.
Tilly got a hold of that, and that wind pushed it out.
The wind has died down just a bit, but it's still pretty breezy out there. Tilly gets her bat and heads back into the box with a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Brownstown left fielder's trying to get the ball out from underneath the net out there.
Something's going to happen on this pitch.
Inside, ball 4.
We'll definitely take that. Load them up for Rye. Give us another crack and a nice base shot here.
Like you said, Rye coming up. Big power hitter. Moved from the 2 spot to the 4 spot. Just probably for that true fact of power. Bases loaded. Be nice for her to get a hold of one and send one out. Not that it's going to be super easy for her because she's a pull hitter, but definitely drive one deep somewhere.
I've seen Rye put some balls out in right field before, so she's got it in her for sure.
Called strike on the outside corner. We've got a courtesy runner, 5 for 4. Since Tilly is a catcher, you can get a courtesy runner there. In comes Brianna Hartman to run for Tilly. Do you like that play? Do you like subbing a catcher?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long game. You want to keep your catcher rested. If she's got to run the bases, then come in here and perform and try and throw kids out that are on base. I mean, it makes it tough. Your pitcher and catcher have a lot of work in a softball game.
That's a sub that we make a lot on my daughter's 8U team. My daughter actually catches, so anytime she gets on base and that we can get her off the base path and let her go in and rest and get her equipment on and be ready to go for the next inning. We do that.
And you notice it, of course, when the temperatures heat up and it gets hot out there in summertime, and it takes a toll on these catchers. You got to wear all this extra equipment, and it's a job. It's a job to catch. I commend all catchers.
And it's one of those that a lot of kids don't realize until they do it for a game how physically draining that really is.
Absolutely.
We got a fly ball to center field by Rye, settle underneath it, and a nice catch out there. Carlin makes the catch out in center to retire the side.
Just got a little too much air under that one.
Yeah, trying to drive it, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Just got a little bit too much underneath it and popped it up, and the wind doesn't help at all because that's going to hold that ball up, over on that side. If we can get it over to right field, it'll help blow it a little more, get it away from the right fielder.
Exactly.
But that's not what we had there. Up for the Lady Braves is Polton, their first baseman, who struck out her first time swinging. Kaylin struck her out, on a nice, I believe it was an off-speed pitch inside that got her. So it'd be, we've really come together after that first inning where we had some issues and got it kind of reeled back in and where we want it. Now we need to set them down 1, 2, 3 again and come up and swing the bats some more.
We're showing some good offensive activity. Bases loaded there. That's where you want to be. You're just a hit away from tying a ball game or taking the lead. So they're definitely doing some great things on offense. Just got to put a few of them together at the right time and make us tie this game up, take the lead. The defense has definitely settled down. So
yeah,
that's what you like to see.
And we've had a couple of good plays. Rye's play at third where she was able to field the ball cleanly and throw a runner out, and then Taylor's catch over her shoulder. Those are all good plays that are being made. It's just we've got to string them together and keep those innings, kind of ticking away. Casey's first pitch to Polton is a ball high.
She wanted it though, that's for sure.
Yeah,
it's hard to stay off those.
And it doesn't change as you grow up. It's that same pitch that the young kids love. That high pitch. They just can't lay off of it.
Absolutely.
And I know that probably drives you nuts on your travel team. They love that high pitch.
Well, I'm the pitcher on our travel ball team, so I try not to throw them. But yeah, the boys like them for sure.
Well, it's not just the boys; the girls love them too.
The girls love them. You're right. It's that pitch. It's just that pitch that you feel that you can knock it out of the park, but it's the hardest one to do.
Yep. It looks like a beach ball coming in there. It's so big and so nice, and you swing at it, and you get underneath it, and you pop it up, and it's a pop-up to the catcher or the pitcher, and
that's right.
You just don't drive it anywhere.
And there's some girls on this West Washington team that can hit that pitch. They keep their hands high, and they know how to drive it. So I wouldn't mind seeing that tonight.
We've got a 3-2 count on Polton. Swings through that one, drop third strike. Tilly throws her out at first.
That's good awareness by the Senators.
Explain to some of the viewers at home. Taylor Green's playing first. She is our flex player. Explain that that position and how that works.
Well, typically, whenever you do a flex, an EH or DH, whatever you call it, but your flex player is one that you really like to have playing defense that you may not it's may not a strong batter, so you have that opportunity to play another player, and you're basically using two players for one position. So you can take one of your better defenders, who's, like I said, is not strong hitting, and bring in a strong hitter to bat in that spot. But it gives you some flexibility as well, so you can pull that flex and actually let that batter, the defender bat a time through the lineup as well. So you've got some flexibility with it. I mean, it's definitely a good wrinkle again to have into the game at your at your mercy.
Yeah.
Because there's certain situations to where you definitely can use that type of setup in your lineup.
Tilly comes out to settle Casey down a little bit. Her first walk of the day, I believe. Casey's thrown 54 pitches through 3 innings. Not unusual to see that many pitches going into the fourth. But you in a typical game, you'd like to see her throw under 100.
Absolutely.
100 is getting up there, getting to be quite a few. So settle her down a little bit and make sure we get an out here. Up is Leah Stidham, their catcher, who is 0 for 1 on the day. Inside pitch. Tilly comes up ready to fire to first.
Absolutely. I have to commend Tilly. She's great about noticing the perfect timing to go out and talk to her pitchers, just to give them an extra breath and calm them down, get them refocused.
Maybe some inside information here, but who's calling the pitches this year? Is that a Coach Long thing? Is that a Haley thing? Who's over there calling pitches?
That's a great question. Chris reached out to me yesterday. We haven't had much time to talk about the season and stuff. I mean, we're both very, very busy, and I knew that with me not coaching, we don't get to spend as much time, and we don't talk like every day like we did, probably twice a day whenever we're coaching. But I do think I think Haley is. I know in the off season we had talked about it. I think Haley's done a lot with these girls, and it's good to have a Haley Stevenson in your dugout to help assist in the pitching.
Snap throw back, safe at first.
You like to see them work hard to get back to that bag.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah. That's one when you have a Haley on the team who was a successful pitcher and works with these pitchers, how you want to turn some leadership over to her.
Nice
wow, what a
catch.
nice catch by Rye over the shoulder.
Nice
Great catch. Great catch. In foul territory over her shoulder.
Yeah, with, like you said, having a Haley around who has had success, went off and played some college, so she's got to learn from some of the best at the college level as well. So she's got a lot of knowledge as a weathered pitcher in the system of softball. So anytime you get some knowledge like that to pass on to your young players, I mean, it's only going to benefit your program and your team.
Right, and those girls have kind of built a relationship with Haley, working through this off season, throwing pitches and working with her. Casey's been in with her and worked some with her along with other people, and Cora Miller's worked with her, and Taylor and the whole pitching staff has been around her.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me that Haley is calling the pitches, and I'm sure Chris is in her ear saying, hey,
Yeah, absolutely.
As a head coach, that's what the head coaches do. They're in the ear saying, hey, you may be calling them, but I'm gonna relay a little bit to you.
Yeah. Many conversations, I'm sure, about each pitch and when one pitch goes wrong. I mean, when I was calling pitches over there, I would look at Chris, a few times and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are you thinking? And we would before I would call that pitch. And so it's good to have other opinions there. Maybe they seen something that you didn't. I mean, it's always great to have that. And, Haley, I mean, probably, with the hands down, the best softball player stat-wise that's came through West Washington. To have that, and some of these girls are the ones that looked up to her whenever they were younger, watching her on these runs. So, I mean, there's a lot of respect there for Haley when she talks, I'm sure.
And as Casey steps into the plate, she was one of those who, was one who looked up to Haley, and now Haley's, one of her coaches who is possibly calling the pitches. She's sitting over there on a bucket, where the pitchers can see her. So I'm sure that's probably the pitch calling bucket and spot. So
absolutely,
Casey shakes her head at that one. She didn't like that pitch call at all. That's an outside pitch that she thought was outside.
Yeah,
that she couldn't hit. And
Casey's got power. I'd like to see her put her nose on the ball here.
I was here one day for practice and saw her drill one out over left field. She puts that ball in play in between the third baseman Robinson's legs. Going to go down as an error on Robinson. Probably should have had that one. Casey on first with some speed. In steps Cora Miller, the left fielder.
Yeah, last year, Casey, she hits the ball hard. Shelby Reagans, she had a broken nose earlier in the season, and as soon as she came back from that injury, we had been working her at third. Casey rips one right at her in practice, and Shelby's a tough kid. She didn't get out of the way of the ball. She catches it, pulls her glove off, and her finger sideways. She breaks her finger. Casey hit it so hard, and that tells you the power that kid has.
That is a misfortunate play there. Cora goes to bunt, misses, which then hangs Casey out to dry on the attempted steal there.
Yeah, that ball, we needed contact on that ball. That inside, they're attacking us on the inside of that plate. We've got to let them know that that's our inside of the plate, not theirs.
We got to get somebody up there who can turn on a ball and drive it, so that they stay off of that inside corner.
Absolutely. The key with hitting that inside pitch is you got to hit it before it gets to you. You got to hit it out in front of you, and you got to put it down that line. And the more you do that, you're going to back up that third baseman, because they're going to respect that shot, because it comes pretty quick when you do that.
Yeah, and this third baseman is not playing in nearly as far as Rye does, and she's hugging the line. Cora hits one back to Bryant, who's the pitcher.
Yeah, and that was another inside pitch that we just can get our hands out far enough and hit that ball out in front, and whenever you hit it to where you're used to making contact, you're jammed, and there's really not much that ball can do but go to the ground and be a dribbler.
Right. In steps number 7, McKeon Cervantes. First ball foul over the first base side out into the cars. I hope you weren't parked over there.
No, I stayed up by the school. Yeah, I've been around this field quite some time, and I've seen some cars get hit pretty hard.
Bryant misses that pitch low. So the count even at 1-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Bryant with another delivery in low. Pitch outside, driven down into the ground for a foul ball. Even the count at 2-2. McKeon's one of those players who's not one of the top players, but she helps you out so much on defense. She can play any of the 3 outfield spots. That ball gets away. McKeon's safe at second.
We were fortunate there.
So we've got a drop third strike, swinging, Then a wild pitch.
Yeah, I think Chris is kind of getting on to McKeon a little bit, that she was kind of jogging down first base and kind of handing the bat off instead of taking off full speed. But it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out.
And then an error on the right fielder for not being able to make the throw to second to throw her out. So that's a complete mess in the scorebook if you're scoring that one.
It is. That's a challenge.
In steps Nicole Pittman, swings at the first one and misses.
And kind of with that strike zone that we've seen all evening, you know, I'm sure we're going to be more aggressive on these balls.
Yeah, and it's got to be that way. When you see one that you can hit, we can't take pitches anymore. We've got a line drive right at the third baseman. She's able to field that one and retire the side. Robinson fields the ball and Pittman is out. We're going to step away for a short commercial break. We will be back in just a minute.
We hear it more and more when people talk about sports. We need to change the culture. No more integrity taking a backseat to performance. No more players, coaches, and fans run amok. No more too big to fail. It sounds good. It sounds reasonable. Come to think of it, it sounds like high school sports. At the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we know that sports are just part of a student-athlete's overall education and that there's more to the game than winning. We also know that high school sports are incredibly exciting. They're rich with tradition and bring communities together like nothing else. In a word, they're pure. More and more, that's what people want. High school sports. Pure spirit, pure sport. This message brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, the IHSAA, and the high schools in this community.
Welcome back to the Lady Senators softball facility here. The Lady Senators are down 2-0 in the top of the fifth. The Brownstown Braves have had some success in the first inning, but since then, Casey Kalin has really kind of just shut them down on the offensive side of the field. The Lady Senators also just aren't able to get the bats quite going yet. They've had some good hits, but they just haven't been able to string 2 or 3 of them together to be able to get any runs across the plate. There's a ball hit to center field. Cassidy Keltner settles underneath it and makes a basket grab, but comes up limping.
You can tell that it looks like a hamstring to me. She's definitely tweaked something there.
That was batting.
But she's definitely a gamer.
She is a gamer.
In steps Hannah Fisher. Turns to slap and gets a called strike 1 from Kalin.
And it might be a quad. She's kind of rubbing the top of her leg there, so yeah.
Slap. Tilly jumps up. Rye dives. They dive into each other. Both come up okay, and I know Coach Long over there is probably scared to death when they both lay there for a little while. But they come up, they kind of laugh, shake it off. Both are definite, physical players, and will go after any ball they can get to. It just so happened that they both went after the same one.
Yeah, that shows you how bad they didn't want that ball to touch the ground.
Kalin with a pitch that's outside.
And I'm pretty sure that we've seen that called a strike tonight. Good pitch.
Good pitch. That is another strikeout for Casey.
That was
Up next is Zoe Fountain, their shortstop.
first batter of the inning. Now we're back at the top of the lineup.
She's 0 for 2 on the day. She has a fly ball out to Rye, and she hit a ball to Taylor that Taylor wasn't able to throw cleanly to Taylor at first. So hasn't really gotten a hold of a ball yet. Not saying that she can't, but that she looks like the typical leadoff. She's a speed person, just wants to get on base, whether it's a walk, an air, or
Yeah, she tracks that ball back to the catcher's glove very well.
There's a ball out to Cassidy. Cassidy's first couple of steps looked good, but then came up lame. So
yeah, I think that was definitely a sign showing an injury there.
Up next is Chloe Carlin, their center fielder. Runner on first in the top of the fifth with 2 outs. She's got an Indiana Sting helmet on, so those of you from this area, that know travel softball. That's a travel softball team from, the southern Indiana, based out of Salem area. With Brownstown not being that far, that is, a team that has played a lot of softball around and in this area. So Chloe Carlin has that helmet on, so she's been part of that team at some time, which along with Casey Kalin, the pitcher for West Washington, and Tilly has played some with the Sting, and Rye has also played. So there's a group of those Indiana Sting players.
Yeah, that's a good program. The travel ball has really taken off. The opportunity that it's given both softball and baseball players in this day and age is phenomenal. That's opportunities that we didn't have back in the day when we were playing. And it's great because you see these athletes get to the junior high level and high school level that look like they've been playing ball for a long time.
Yeah, and to go along with that, Indiana Sting, the 8U girls softball team, that is the Indiana Sting, just won their first tournament this weekend. I believe they were playing in Columbus.
Yeah.
And won their first tournament. So it goes all the way from the high school girls all the way down to 8U. They've got teams all the way through there.
Absolutely.
So building things in this area, but spread out over lots of different schools. So that's what you see in the softball realm, along with the baseball realm.
Yeah.
We talked about that a little bit before we went on the air with your team. You aren't a full organization. You've got one team, and you grow with that team. Where the Salem, or not the Salem Sting, but the Indiana Sting, has multiple teams all the way up through. So.
Yep. Yeah, it changes the game. It changes what your teams look like in high school whenever they get here. So I think the very first year that we coached, we didn't have any kids on our team that had ever played anything other than rec ball and school ball.
Yeah.
And each year you added a couple pieces that had some experience in the travel ball world, so your teams got better for sure.
Yeah, and that's a whole different ball game, going from rec ball to travel ball to high school ball. I mean, it's all a big step. So Elizabeth Hall steps in. First pitch is a ball outside. Of course, that's the diet of pitches she's going to see. Every pitch she sees is probably going to be an outside pitch, being that she's a slapper. She drops that one down very nicely, almost a swinging bunt there.
Yeah.
Able to beat it out down the first base line.
She is quick.
She very quick, very quick. And that's one of those balls that's right in between. The catcher can't get out and get it, and the third baseman can't get in and get it. And she couldn't have rolled it out there probably any better.
No, that was a great bunt. Slap bunt.
In comes Taylor Fouch. First pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. And she's another one who the ball jumps off her bat.
Yeah, she's got good technique with her back foot, and she uses it to help push her weight forward throughout her swing there and generate a lot of power.
Attempts to bunt there and misses for a called strike 2. So she's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Hall's on first. looked almost like a balk in baseball.
It sure did.
There's a nice drive. Oh, and we're going to get a double play. No, we're not. Halls is there. Almost had a double play there. Fouch hits the ball very nicely to center field. Center fielder makes a catch on that, and Halls is almost to second base, then has to turn around and come back to throw. The first baseman is not able to field it, so Halls is still at first base.
Yeah, that was a great swing, just right up the middle. We just needed about 10 feet over to the right and hit that gap. And
K
right
squared
there,
up.
that's where we wanted
That's
it.
right where we want it. Halls is going to round that base off. Coach Long didn't test that arm out there at all. So we've got runners on first and second.
And that was Cassie that had that hit. She's a trooper. You seen that she was injured out there in the outfield, and comes in and gives us a nice shot, gets the first base, and we can get another runner out there to help us get an opportunity to score.
Brianne Hartman comes in to run for Keltner, who looks to be hobbled a little bit on her leg.
Now I've seen Tilly here, throughout the years from coaching her a couple years, bat left-handed. This would be a good opportunity for her to switch sides.
I actually saw her bat left-handed for 2 pitches, and then she switched back around to right.
She's got the power, and with the wind blowing out to right field, it would be tough for them to, unless it was hit right at the right fielder, they'd have a hard time catching the ball.
And the center fielder is playing everyone shaded towards left, so there's a nice gap out there. Another strike call. That's that off-speed pitch, high in the zone that they're having trouble hitting, so they're letting it go.
Nice
There's
shot.
a ball driven in between short and third. Going to score or try to score. The ball is there. Thrown out. Brianne Hartman makes it to third safely. So
looked like Coach Long was saying back during the play there, and with this wind and the excitement, it's tough to hear, and I don't think she heard. Nevertheless, we still got an opportunity here with 2 down. That was a great at bat by Tilly.
Rye has switched bats. She was swinging a Mako before. Now she's swinging the Zeno. So I don't know if she's changed and decided she wants some more power, or she just thinks she swings that one better. First pitch was a strike. That one rolls foul. So she falls behind. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners on first and third. Ball outside. Jamie Bryant has delivered 82 pitches so far through 4 innings. Rye catches that one off the end of the bat. Hits it towards second base, where the second baseman makes the catch for a pop out there. Taggart catches that ball to retire the side. We do get 3 hits on 13 pitches there, but we're going into the top of the 6th, where we've got to get some runs going.
Got to get some runs going for sure. We've had the opportunity the last 3 innings and just haven't been able to materialize anything. But, if you play good, solid defense, you're still in the ball game even when you're not hitting the ball. So just hopefully those sticks get waking up and it's consistent. You got to get a few together. It just can't be sporadic.
We're going to step away for a short commercial break with Mike Long. So we'll be back in just a short minute.
Hi, it's Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. We can protect your keister this Easter. Give us a call, 812-578-3072. Hi, it's Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. We can protect your keister this Easter. Give us a call, 812-578-3072. Hi, it's Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. We can protect your keister this Easter, give us a call, 812-578-3072. Hi, it's Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. We can protect your keister this Easter. Give us a call, 812-578-3072. Hi, it's Michael Long with American Family Insurance again. We can protect your keister this Easter. Give us a call, 812-578-3072. Hi, it's Michael Long.
For those of you who just saw the commercial, next time you see Mike Long, be sure to talk to him about his Easter Bunny ears and all of his filters that he loves to record things with and give to us for wonderful commercials in between breaks. I'm sure he caught quite a bit of heckling from people when they saw him in his office.
I was at the Mexican restaurant up in Salem the very next day of whenever those were played, and the first person I saw when I walked in there, they said, "Oh, we seen you with the bunny ears on." It's like, great.
That's one of those that is always great. So much fun, and it's nice to be able to have people who will put some fun things out there for you to see. It just livens up everything, and it's just out of fun and being a supporter of the program, and just great to have a good time, and those parents who can't make it to the ball games, or grandparents, or people who just want to watch, you can get on and watch and have a good time while you're doing it.
Absolutely. I have no personal shame, so I can get on there and make somebody laugh at me. I laugh at myself. But with that said, insurance, it can be boring at times. It's a lot of serious stuff, and it's good to mix it up and show you a fun side of things.
And you were talking about your office earlier, and I'm going to give you a free plug here. So go ahead and describe your office, because I want to come and hang out.
Well, when you come in the office, we've got a TV set up. We have Xbox for kids. You can watch Netflix. A kids' little play area there. We got a nice coffee bar for hot chocolate, coffee, and just whatever beverage that you enjoy, whether it be water or pop. And we do some nice giveaways with some sports stuff. We've had a Reds giveaway and Indiana Pacers. I got a ton of stuff that we're going to do in the future here. But yeah, it's a different atmosphere. Maybe not the same insurance agency that you would walk into Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and just walk in and make payment or have a question, but you get to enjoy it a little bit.
And that's great that you've got it set up kind of as a family atmosphere, just the same way that the softball team is a family atmosphere.
Absolutely.
You're taking care of the family. The parents come in and they've got questions for you, and they've got their kids with you. Well, you've got stuff for them to do, and that trickles down. As when you were the coach of these girls,
Mm-hmm.
you took them in as a family.
Yeah.
And that's important to you, and it's important to the school too.
Yeah.
The school is built around the family. So
yeah, it's great to look out here at the ball field and see all the vehicles on the out in the outfield watching the game. That's great, because 7 years ago, whenever we started this, there wasn't a lot here. There wasn't a lot of we didn't draw a lot of attraction, but you put a few things together and you create a different atmosphere, and it goes a long way.
And there's a pop up to Rye with the catch. Like you were saying, you string together a couple of winning seasons, and then people start following you.
Mm-hmm.
They want to see your games. They want to come out.
And that was the biggest thing. The first year that I took the job, I had girls that was like, no one cares. And I said, hey, make them care. Do something.
Exactly.
Let's do something as a team, as an organization here. And they did. They buckled down and did it.
Claire Polton up to bat. She hits one sky high. Fouch running that way.
Nice
Fouch
catch,
with
Taylor.
Another nice catch.
There we go.
Punky. There we go. There's two for you in this game.
Hey,
so
she's playing defense today, Punk. She's doing a great job. And what you'd like to see is when that ball got caught, there was 3 girls there.
Yeah.
You'd like to see that.
Everybody going after the ball.
Mm-hmm.
In steps Jamie Bryant, the pitcher. She's 1 for 1 on the day. Very nice pitch there.
Off speed header on that front foot. She made her pull her head and everything.
Which is Jamie Bryant's pitch, exactly what she's done to a lot of those Senator hitters today. Next one is a ball high from Casey Kalin, who herself has delivered 80 pitches. This game, it'd be nice. She's only delivered 9 this inning, so it'd be nice to get her out of this inning in less than 15 pitches.
Yeah.
There's a ball hit right back up the center. They've switched the outfield around. Cora Miller is now in center field. It looks like K squared is over in right, which then moves McKee and Cervantes to left. So they've switched the outfield around to kind of protect that leg a little bit of Keltner.
Yeah, you definitely don't want her to hurt it worse than what it is. Good pitch. Real good pitch. Inside off speed and low. Even if she touches it, she can't do much with it.
Up to bat is Leah Stidham, the catcher. 0 for 2 on the day. There's another inside pitch, snap throw down.
Well, I think, on the day that they've really respected Tilly's abilities behind the plate.
Yeah, Tilly's got a really good arm. She can throw people out at second, and she's not afraid to throw that ball to first either. There's a ball straight back over us. Coach Long jumps up like he's ready to catch it.
It was.
It's a completely different angle up here than you're probably ever used to seeing a game from.
It sure is.
It's one of those when you're on the field, it's just different, and the viewers at home get to look down on home plate and see how that pitch is delivered and where it goes. Inside pitch, tries to turn on it but can't get it in fair territory.
Yeah, it's a different perspective for sure. Back to Tilly, one of the things that I think is one of her strong points is the ability that she has to throw from her knee with accuracy. So she's sharp. Wherever that ball goes, she's going to give the defense an opportunity to make a play.
There's another ball fouled back.
Another off speed on the outside of the plate.
What pitch would you like to see Casey throw here to get out of this inning?
Well, this girl's battling. I'd like to see something outside in low to beat it in the ground. Can't do much with it. Get the out and get out.
There's a ball right back at me.
Yeah, and that's 2 of them that she's timed up pretty well. That's came straight back. She tried the inside and she's pulled it foul. Tried the outside and pulled it foul too, or pushed it foul.
Looked like Tilly set up a little bit inside and didn't quite get the pitch where she wanted it. So
you either got to come in and high or outside and low, in my opinion.
There's inside and high. Once again, fouled back over us.
Yeah. This would be a good time for that outside and low.
Yeah.
A little off speed wouldn't hurt either. I mean, she's got her in an 0-2 count. I mean, it doesn't need to be anywhere close to the plate. Make her go after something.
Stidham is a catcher herself, so she's seen a lot of pitches and knows what they look like. Calls time.
Yeah.
Didn't like the setup there. May have got some dust in her eye because she wipes her face.
Yeah, these next 2 pitches, this Stidham here shouldn't be able to touch neither one of these balls.
Yeah. Throw them outside far enough where she can't hit it. There's a high strikeout for Kalin.
That's what you do there. That was a great pitch.
Swing and a miss. 1 hit on 16 pitches. Didn't quite get out of the inning in the less than 15 that I said.
Mm-hmm.
Going into the bottom of the 6th, the Lady Senators are down 2-0. But the Brownstown Braves haven't scored since the first inning.
No.
So it's really been kind of a pitcher's battle.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out, we've really got to string some hits together. We've got Casey Kalin up, then Cora Miller, and then McKee and Cervantes.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get some hits strung together there so that we can score some runs.
Yeah, and I think that since the first inning, we've had a lot more runners in scoring position than the Braves have, but just haven't had that key hit or key 2 hits to string together to put them across the plate.
We had some runners that got to home, but then got thrown out at home.
Mm-hmm.
On maybe a communication error there. calling back instead of keep going.
Mhm.
Don't forget the
But
goodies in the
it's one of those,
concession
we've got to get some hits
stand. Bring the
together
wash down
Yeah.
and make
to
them
score.
something yummy.
It is crunch time. I mean, you've got 2 at bats versus their 1, but they're up 2-0 here. But it's a good time we're here at the bottom of the order, I believe, and to get this thing back to the top, try and put the pressure on them. Try and put up 2 or 3. Put the pressure on them to have to score a run. And we have the opportunity here to take the lead and then just play defense to end out this ball game.
Right. Jamie Bryant has pitched a very nice game. She's got 83 pitches going into the 6th inning. She's only allowed 4 hits, had a couple of errors, though, that have gotten people on and moved around. So, she has thrown a pretty good game.
Yeah, she's done very good. She's kept us off balance.
First pitch is a strike to Casey Kalen. There's a ball off the end of the bat. First base goes back and can't quite make the play on it. Be real nice for her to get a hold of one and drive one somewhere where she can advance, maybe to get a double or even maybe a triple. Get that runner out there so that then they can drive her on a round.
Yeah, we need to get it started here.
There's one down third. Chris isn't able to make the play on it either, so
Now this is 0-2. We've seen a few off-speed pitches in this setup, so hopefully Casey's looking out for that off-speed.
yeah.
Gives her
High
a
and outside.
it looked like a fastball. She went away with the off-speed that time.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Casey Kalen. Oh, fans at it but misses to retire it for the first out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Up comes Cora Miller, who started in left field but is now playing center field. She's 0 for 2 on the day. She had a ground ball and struck out her last time at bat. First pitch to her is a strike.
I'd like to see Cora be aggressive here. She's got a lot of power. She can be a great batter here.
Needs to really jump on that ball.
Mhm.
She tends to let it get to her and get by her, so then she can't have any of that power that
Yeah.
she can drive a ball somewhere.
She's got to get her arms extended, so she's got to speed up her swing a little bit.
And Cora getting her arms extended is a complete. She's a tall girl. She's got long arms, so
Yeah.
she's got to really get them out there. And it takes her a while to be able to do it.
And she's good at hitting off speed because of that, because it takes a little while for her swing to develop.
Swings at that one for a strikeout. So that's 2 in the inning from Bryant.
See if McKeon can get us going here.
Yeah. McKeon, who started in right, has now been moved to left. Is 0 for 2 on the day. There's a ball right back up the middle.
There it is.
Very good hit from McKeon.
Standing in the bat now is Nicole Pittman. She'll be followed by Elizabeth Hall.
Nicole Pittman up to bat. Number 2, she is the designated player, the designated hitter for the Lady Senators, so she doesn't play in the field, just bats for them.
A little outside.
As Mike said, it's an outside pitch, and she's swinging at it, but just can't reach it with the bat.
That's right.
There's one down third base, foul. That pitch was supposed to be outside. The catcher was set up outside. Just didn't throw it where the catcher wanted it.
And late in the game, that's when the spots are a little bit tougher for these pitchers to hit. They pitched a long game, and these batters got to take advantage of those missed spots.
It's a ball high. That's 97 pitches for Jamie Bryant. There's another ball high. It's a off-speed pitch that she is able to lay off of. Some of the other Senators haven't been able to lay off that pitch. They've been chasing that one. So
yeah, she's doing a good job up here battling.
there's low for another strikeout. So Jamie Bryant strikes out the side. We are going to take a short commercial break in between the start or before the start of the 7th inning, and we will be back in just a minute.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Indiana. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen.
We're going to go ahead and interrupt that commercial in the middle so that we can get back to some action here from the Lady Senator softball complex. Up for the Lady Braves of Brownstown is Riley Robinson, their third baseman. Casey Kalin still on the mound, 87 pitches going. Turns to bunt. Tilly with a nice catch in foul territory. Very nice play.
That helped keep her pitch count down this inning, too.
Yes, definitely. Up next is Taggart, the second baseman. First pitch is a ball inside. Ball to Rye. Rye then fields it and throws her out.
That's textbook defense there.
Up now is Hannah Fisher, the right fielder, who has struck out twice. Kalin with the delivery. The ball goes back over us.
See if we can get another ground ball or a quick out here.
Ball outside.
Casey's done a great job today, too.
She's thrown a lot of very good pitches, been out ahead of most of the batters. There's a swing and a miss. Hannah Fisher hasn't been able to figure out Casey's pitch selection or location at all today. She's just been fooled, a couple of times on pitches that, swings at that, not really close to.
Yeah.
And that's how Casey, really likes to pitch. She likes to mix it up, inside outside. There's
another great pitch.
Another great pitch, a strikeout. That's Fisher's third strikeout on the day.
That was nice, quick work by the Senators.
8 pitches, no runs on no hits, no errors. Up for the Lady Senators is Elizabeth Halls. Then we're back to the top of the lineup with Taylor Fouch and Cassidy Keltner. Going into the bottom of the 7th, we've got to string together some hits here to get some runs. This is the last chance for the Senators to get runs on the board.
Yeah.
We haven't been able to knock Jamie Bryant out of the game yet. She comes out. She's got an even 100 pitches on the day. Probably a little bit tired. That's right where the kind of realm is. You don't like to go too much over that.
Yeah.
At 100 pitches.
And with that said, I mean, a 2-run cushion's not what you want going into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a great opportunity for the Senators to have a crack at, a pitcher that's got 100 pitches on her, and with, the Senators being on base quite a bit, just haven't been able to get that key hit. So that adds some pressure to the whole scenario here.
Right. In steps Elizabeth Halls. She is a slapper. Might be the opportunity for Coach Long to let her just swing away, which she does at the first one.
Mm-hmm. The pitch was a little high. Hopefully she can get something here in her strike zone and capitalize. Ooh.
Didn't like that call either.
No.
That's been the call all day.
And not this late in the game. You don't like to see a ball and a half off the plate called for a strike there.
It's a ball even further outside. Doesn't get that one called.
Yeah, she tried to throw a curveball there and bring it back in.
There's another one out there.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her.
If
you're
getting the
out
call,
there,
keep throwing it.
Keep doing it.
I just don't want to see her now mix it up to the other corner and Halls not be ready to turn on it. Still out there.
Oh, man.
Struck her out on the outside corner. Called strike 3. In steps Taylor Fouch. 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. Lady Senators are down 2-0 to the Brownstown Braves.
Is your Facebook feed going off on any of these pitches? Can they see that?
Yes, they can definitely see that. We're
Okay.
straight down on the plate. Fouch with a shot back to Jamie Bryant, who fields it. Gets the out at first. So we're down to our last out.
Hey, with that said, though, we respect these umpires. They do a great job. It's a tough job.
Oh, yeah.
It's a job that I wouldn't want to do. You catch a lot. You got to deal with coaches like me, and that wouldn't be any fun, I'm sure.
Ball out and away from Cassidy Keltner. And it's a much better viewpoint from up here than where the umpire is standing. It's a lot easier to see it from here.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking down at it more. So, great job by all the umpires and the calls that they've made today. And it is calling behind the plate pitches is a judgment call. I mean, what you see is what you call.
Yeah. Got a little break here at the end of the game.
Got a little break. Cassidy not quite at 100%, but is able to leg out a single. Keltner is going to be pitch run 4.
And this really gives us a great opportunity with some power hitters to have a chance at this ball game here.
Tilly Gilbert up to bat. She's 1 for 2 on the day.
It's the 3rd time she's seen her. She hit her last time, so it's a good opportunity for Tilly.
Yeah, she was walked, so she had a single and then flew out to center. First pitch is a called strike. There's a ball fouled straight back.
This is where Tilly's a good hitter. She can take the 0-2 strike, the 0-2 count, and be selective and hit a good pitch here. She's good at that.
There's a ball into the gap in between third and short. So now we've got runners on second and third. And in steps Rye Watson, the senior third baseman for the Lady Senators.
Yeah, you're only looking for a base hit here, but it's good to have a batter up here that has the power to hit it out of the park in this situation.
Right.
When you're down to your last out.
Rye is 0 for 3 on the day, so she hasn't got a hold of one yet. Coach Long is walking her through the steps. Keep your head down on it. Make sure you're driving the ball somewhere.
Yeah, he's telling her to keep her hands up high, and that's when Rye does her best, when she keeps her hands up high. And to not drop those hands to get under it. Just drive it.
Swings at that one and misses on the outside pitch. Just very excited to get a hold of one and try to drive it somewhere.
Mm-hmm. I like to see her keep her hands up high and put her nose on that ball.
There's another one outside.
She didn't know if she wanted to swing at that one. She decided a little late on that. She's a trooper here, though.
Senators once again down 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Runners on first and second. Foul tip, just got a piece of it to knock it back. Rye Watson stays alive. Brian Hartman out on second. Tilly Gilbert at first. Rye's count is no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. There's a ball hit to shortstop. Play is at third. Gets the out. That will end the ball game. The Lady Senators do drop this one 2-0 to the Brownstown Braves.
Lady Senators got to keep their heads up. I can say from experience coaching, the first year that I took the helm here, we started out the season 0-5, and we played very strong mid to late in the season, and was 1 game away from the state championship. So it's early. You figure this stuff out now. You work out the kinks. You hit your stride. You figure things out by mid-season, and then you get repetition. You gel better as a team once you've got the experience there. And I have no doubts by the postseason, these girls are going to be a tough team.
And you're hitting exactly on it. It is early, and a lot of these girls are 3-sport athletes, and they are not able to devote all the time that Coach Long would like to see them, in the cages, swinging in the winter, playing, the throwing in the gyms and things like that. So he hasn't had all of the work time with them that he would really like to have.
Yeah.
So in comes Coach Long. So I'd like to catch a quick word with him. Great game for the Lady Senators, but they were held short of where they would like to be. They end up dropping the game 2-0 to the Brownstown Braves. Coach Long, Casey pitched a great game today. Had a little bit of trouble in the first inning, getting some outs. She after the first inning settles down, doesn't give up any more runs throughout the rest of the game. The Lady Senators just weren't able to string together hits and bring runs across.
Yeah, that first inning, the 2 errors, there's the 2 runs. But after that, we settled down defensively. We made plays. We had some base running mistakes, and I don't know if we're just it's early, but it's hard as a coach to see some of this stuff because we feel like this is things that we should be good at already. We shouldn't be having to go back to this, but we kind of made it easy on them if in some situations that I thought we didn't do very well with our base running.
Right. Kind of some bright spots for you. Your freshmen, come up and play fairly well. Taylor, who had struggled in the field a couple of times and had made some errors, makes 2 great plays. She makes an over-the-shoulder catch and then catches a foul ball in foul territory that was a drive. Has a fairly decent day at the plate. I had her down. She got on base. And was able to, advance a couple of times, Hall's played very well, defensively. Cassidy Keltner came up, limping, but had a really good day at the plate. I had her 3 for 4 on the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Cassie is the hottest bat we got right now. We put her in the 2 spot today, and she's still playing hot now. She did have a weird slide into second base on the stolen base. I think she got her 2 stolen bases probably
yes,
too.
had 2.
And I think she's about averaging that a game right now. But she twisted something in the top of her knee. We're gonna have to kind of reevaluate a little bit here. She said she could go, but you could see her out there limping, and so we kind of made an adjustment. But it didn't affect her with the bat. I mean, she still got on base there at the end and gave us a chance. Her and Taylor, those freshmen at the top of our lineup, I mean, that's pressure spots, so they're both coming through. We had base runners, and we had hits, and we had things to win this game. But I think it goes back to our base running, really, that we can't get the bunt down right now. I don't know what happened from that first game to this game, but the bunt has not been put down, and we're definitely going to have to work on that.
Well, and that's what I was just telling Mike, as you came in. You don't get these girls all year. You share them between volleyball and basketball, and some of them you've only had 3-4 weeks that you've been working on them, with these things. So it's a learning process throughout the season, throughout the whole time. And you want to peak at the right time. Now is not the right time to peak. You want to peak come sectional time, come regional, come semi-state. That's when you want to be playing your best ball.
Right, and we know we measure ourselves with the 1A class teams we play, which we played the 1, and we went in extra innings and lost that one. But I felt like that was a good 1A school. We've played back-to-back 3A schools. Both games, I felt like we're in the games. We're just making those key mistakes early, and we're never able to come back from them. I don't think it's going to happen all year. Not as long as I'm coaching. I'm going to make sure it doesn't. But right now, that's where we're at. And I guess we have things to work on.
Casey Kalin has an excellent game for you. She throws 95 pitches, 1 base on balls. I had her for 4 hits, 2 runs allowed on errors. So those are unearned runs for her. 8 Ks during the game. So she played a really good game. You couldn't ask for anything more
No, you
out
couldn't.
of her.
I mean, that's spectacular. And it goes. Even those 2 errors, and then how we played after that. I thought we rebounded and we played well. I mean, you've seen 2 or 3 over the head catches.
Yep.
The wind does play a factor. I think the ball Tilly hit on a different day, that's out of the park.
Those are the exact words that I said. I said on a different day, that thing is out of here.
Yeah, but that's part about playing here. You can see the flag right now. I mean, it's blowing hard this way. That's what we get here on our field. Now we're getting ready to take off on a 4-game road trip, as you would call it, and I think that we're going to turn it around. I look for a turnaround. We got a couple practices the next couple days, so we got time to work on stuff. We actually have a conference opponent on Thursday.
Okay.
So that's going to be. We're going to start. I always start looking ahead, because it is what it is. We had chances and we didn't come through. But I think we'll put some work in the next 2 days and see what we can do.
Well, thank you very much, Coach Long, for your time. Definitely appreciate you coming up and giving us some airtime.
Hey, thank you, Craig, for all that you're doing right now. It's exciting for us at softball to have people be able to watch this at home, and then I can go home later and watch it also again, and kind of let it see if there's anything that I can learn as a coach, because it's also coaches we got to learn too. We don't just expect the players to improve as the season goes. We also want to improve. But thank you very much, Craig.
Well, definitely, thank you. We're going to step away for one more short commercial break, then come back and name our player of the game. So we will be back with you in 1 short minute.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the
What makes high school sports here in Indiana so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Ah, let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry.
Back to live action here at West Washington softball field. We're going to wrap up the game with naming our player of the game as Mike Long comes back on. Who you think player of the game?
Oh gosh,
Throwing you on the spot. I know you don't have the stats sitting in front of you, but
no, just by watching, I mean, there's two that really stood out there. Of course, Casey on the mound. Anytime that and that's a couple errors that really created those runs, but that 0-2 pitch that she gave to give that hit there in that first inning, it's tough there. That's the only things that you got really going against Casey, because the rest of the ball game she did outstanding. To keep not too many runners got in scoring position, just maybe one or two, if any more after that first inning, but she did a great job to gain your composure, because that's tough to be able to come out in the first inning, top of the first inning, give up 2 runs, and then shut it down the rest of the game. I mean, that's tough to do.
Exactly.
And a pitcher, the spotlight's on you. I mean, it really is.
Oh yeah.
Whether you like it or not, that's what it is. And these kids that pick up the ball to pitch know that, and they want it, and they feed off of that, and it shows right here in front of you. Both pitchers from both sides. And then the other, I mean, Cassie hitting the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, and then being injured and still come up and hit and get on. I mean, that's impressive. The freshmen, what I'm seeing here out of these freshmen is phenomenal. I haven't got to catch very many games. I got to watch the one online the other day, and I caught 2 innings of the Lanesville game. But what I've seen, these freshmen are very good, and it's going to pay dividends as the season goes. But it's a toss-up between Casey and her control on the mound after that first inning, and Cassie hitting the ball.
Well, we're going to go ahead and give it to both of them. So I'm going to read you some stat line
There
here.
you go.
So Casey was 7 innings pitched. She gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 base on balls, 8 Ks, and she was able to strand 4 of those runners on base.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
that's a great job from her. Batting wise, Cassidy Keltner was 3 for 4 on the day. So she had 3 singles, 2 stolen bases, batting average of .750 on the day.
Wow.
So she's got it going.
Yeah.
Even injured, she was able to leg out that single there in the last inning. So those are our 2 players of the game, Casey Kalin and Cassidy Keltner. For Mike Long, this is Craig Akers, and we are signing off from Livestream. Thank you very much for following.